Oh, she's like, no, thank you. Welcome back to the Swamp Witch Knits podcast. My name is Emily. I am coming to you from my house in Pensacola, Florida. On this podcast, I talk about what I am working on. Usually it's knitting, but sometimes I do get distracted by other crafty little rabbit holes, which actually this week we have a few little non-knitting, exciting, creative things that I've done. But I'm very, very excited to be here to catch up with you guys and chat about the progress that I've made on some things that I've been working on and some new projects that I've started and some plans, some plans for warmer weather knitting. So I think let's get started. I had my project on my lap that I've been working on. I think let's get started with like this little outfit I'm obsessed with. I just sort of like thought about putting this together today. I made this pink sweater. This is the Cozy Classic Raglan by Jessie Made Designs. And I only had 2 skeins of sock weight yarn and it was not enough to make like a full length, I think medium. So I ended up making 3/4 length sleeves, which I actually love. And then you can't see it, but like it's cropped to about here on me. So that being said, it's a really cute kind of like vintage style crop sweater, but it's hard to wear with most pants because it rides up quite a bit if I try to move at all. Like if I do anything other than like sit or stand like up straight. So I wanted to wear this jumpsuit that I got this in Denver and I saw this on the rack and I was like, yeah, I gotta have it. Like, you guys look at this. It's got a rat that's smoking a cigarette. This amazing like demon lady on her bike. Some weapons, obviously love that. I think this is a little snake friend with some flames and then like just general like chains and stars. I just like the vibe was like, it was important. I needed it. So it's I think a brand called Moodworks. This is like one of my most favorite pieces of clothing. It's made out of linen, so it's like a super light, like comfy jumpsuit you can wear. I get a lot of wear out of it here in Florida because it's quite warm here. And like side note, the construction of this is pretty simple. It's got these cute pockets, but it's just like very cute, simple, like kind of baggy. And I love the cool fabric and it has made me, every time I wear it, like really want to learn how to sew. Like I keep getting the itch every time I put this on to like go buy a sewing machine and learn how to make clothing items because I want more like funky, cool, printed items of clothing and you don't always find them. You know, I happened to run across this in a shop, like a very cool little shop in Denver, but here in Pensacola we don't have it's a great city and I love it, but we don't have like cool stuff like this, you know? It's getting cooler though. I will say like Pensacola is getting a lot more hip. But I thought about it. I was like, okay, I want to wear my rat jumper, but I also want to wear something I've knit. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like the jumper has this bright pink and the 8 balls. I have this thing that I can't wear like with pants and it's real tight fit, so it'll fit underneath it. Perfect. And it is, I love it. Like, how cute is this? It kind of like brings it into winter. I love it. It's very me. It's very like, very bright and kind of like, I don't know, just like effervescent, bubbly sort of style clothing is my favorite. What is it called? Like dopamine dressing, where you like your clothing, you wear like the bright, like fun, like bubbly prints to like make you happy. Mila decided that she wanted to like play with the cord to our little stand. Sorry, again, my bangs are all over the place. I need a haircut. Anyway, this is Mila. If you guys are new here, this is Mila. She's my little kitty cat. Her litter box is in this room, so at some point during every single video, she decides to use her litter robot, and I have to pause and wait for it to cycle. So we'll see. It's like a, oh, she's approaching it. Okay, where was I? Dopamine. And I do that with my clothes, and then also just in general in my house. I'm actually so excited. My mom helped me put up some wallpaper in my room this weekend, and it's really like groovy and fun and cool. I got it from Spoonflower. The one thing though is that I don't know how to do basic math apparently, and I did not order enough, so it looks really cool. It's like up behind my bed, and it's really funky and awesome, like this really groovy fun like bright colored flowers, but I didn't order enough, and there's like a space above the door that's completely blank, so I do have to order another roll and we'll fix that. But it was not too hard to put up. It kind of, I guess, imagine like getting a cover, like a screen cover for your phone, how you have to put it on really carefully and like zhuzh out all the bubbles as you're putting it on. That's kind of what that experience was like, but in a 3 foot by 9 foot sticker. So it was definitely a 2-person job, and Mom and I did it with very minimal cursing, so I was proud of us. It's not perfect by any means, but I think it makes the room so fun, and just another example of like surrounding yourself with positive, happy things that just make you happy and make your space your own. So, and then last thing, I think just in general, like outfit wise, is I went this last week. I went with a couple of my friends to an event at a local brewery, and it was a Galentine's night. Oh, I'm gonna try it. I'm putting them, hold on. I need to show you guys like the full effect. I do need them to be on like the right way, and at the moment they're not. So we went to a local brewery called Alga, and they put on this big event with like girl dinner and trivia and like blasting like Shania Twain and Beyonce, and it was so busy. It was amazing. Like all of these people came out with their girls, and like everybody had a great night. But the most fun part, I think, was they had a station to make friendship bracelets. So I made 3. I made them for my dogs. So Isabel is my border collie, and she is 13, and she's the love of my life. Gunther is my big, gigantic German Shepherd. He is 8 years old, and he's just like the sweetest, most loyal, wonderful boy. And then Fiona is my youngest dog, and she is like this little corgi pit bull mix. She was dropped off at our clinic, and just for like whatever reason wasn't working out with the family that had her, and one thing led to another, and I said I would foster her because I did not want or need 3 dogs. And she went to 2 different homes, and just for like just a couple different reasons that I really don't think were her fault, and not the family's fault either. It just didn't, you know, sometimes the dogs are not a good match for a home, and it's better to admit that early on and say, hey, like this is not a good situation for the pet, and you know, and try to get the pet in a good, you know, an appropriate home where they'll have their best life. So apparently that is my home. So I now have 3 dogs and 2 cats. So it's quite a full house. It's like a 900 square foot house. So I should do more vacuuming, but a lot of vacuuming is required. A lot of vacuums have died valiantly in their service to this household. And yes, so anyway, I just thought that my little angels that I love very much were just like, Gunther's one of the gals, so he's Galentine's. So I love my little friendship bracelets. They're so cheerful and fun too. So yes, that's my outfit. Okay, so this podcast is primarily about knitting, so let's talk about some knitting. If you've seen my past episodes of like winter whips, you will have seen that I was working on an all over waffle knit textured sweater called the Barnsley sweater. And I have been working on this. I have been almost monogamous with this. I have been really focusing on this, and I've been putting in so much work. It is, there's a fork in my project bag. That's random. Why? Okay. So I'll show you. I'm quite proud of the progress. I have done so much. I finished the body. Yay! It's so good. It took, you guys, I think I knit like several, oh gosh, I'm not tall. I'm too short. I knit a couple inches since I saw you last, and I finished the body, made sure it was oversized because that's what I wanted. I wanted this to fit kind of like a menswear sweater, like just really cozy, comfy. And I started on a sleeve, and I am almost done with this sleeve. So it's been going well. I also, if you did watch my last video, I talked about the yarn that I had been using for the collar. I did previously, when I first cast this on, I was using the Retrosaria Mondim sock yarn for the collar. And for my like sensitive little princess neck, that was just not soft enough. So I decided that I would, I have run into this before where I have decided like, hey, one or two things about this, like they're not perfect, but I'm just going to keep going. And I will say, their home, like hand knitted garments are not perfect. And certainly like if we strive for perfection, like we're going to drive ourselves crazy because nothing you make is perfect. And that's part of why we make things too. It's got that like the wabi-sabi that you can tell it's homemade, and that's what makes it, beautiful to you and valuable. But that being said, I have sometimes kind of had little red flags pop up during a project, and I just decide like, I'm just gonna keep going. I think it'll be fine. And like those little things are what keep me from getting any like wear out of the project. And maybe that's an area where I need to work on some personal growth of like accepting the imperfections and not letting them bother me the entire time that I'm wearing them. But, I guess it is what it is. Like, I think I need to figure out what things can I accept and what things are actually going to bother me and keep me from wearing it. And I think that's just something that we learn as we, grow through this hobby and make more sweaters. So I think that's really cool. But I did think that the neckline on this being scratchy on me and being a little bit too close up on my neck, it was tight. It wasn't a turtleneck, but it was like really cropped in. I knew that it was going to prevent me from wearing this, and that would be tragic because this is taking forever to make. It's taking so long. It's gonna be worth it, but it's taking so long. So what I did was I went to my local yarn store and I brought the sweater with me. I don't know if you can see, but this is knit up in Brooklyn Tweed Loft in the colorway Postcard. And it has some reds and oranges throughout a mostly gray background. It's like tweedy. It's really, really pretty. So I brought it to match a color to kind of pop out and like bring out all of those colors. And I'm really happy with what I decided on. This is I keep forgetting. I think it's called 29 Bridges. She's an indie dyer out of Maryland. And this is a sock base. I think it's a 75-25 sock base. And it's just this really pretty rusty red, one of my favorite colors. And I did the bottom hem in it as well. And then I do plan on doing a contrast color for the cuffs, but I think I'm gonna do like a bright turquoise. I think again, going back to that dopamine dressing, I think that color, contrast colors and just using colors that I really love and doing something a little unexpected. I really like color block and putting, color palettes together. I think that that will make me really happy and make me want to wear this sweater more. So I think I've got some stuff in my stash. I'm going to play around with it and see what I like. And this was a really great learning experience. I've never taken off a neckband before. It was a folded over neckband previously, and I did put on a new folded over neckband. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. It really wasn't too fiddly. So that's unlocked a skill, and I think I have a bit more confidence now to rip things back and make them to my specifications, just to be a little bit more skilled in making things exactly how I'd like them and to make alterations to pattern. So overall, I've been really enjoying this pattern. I do think the one thing about it that I'm having a little trepidation about it is that it is on purpose oversized. With it being a raglan, when I put it on, there's a pouch, like a pooch, that happens right here at the armpit, which is, just the way that the shoulders are constructed, that's going to happen if it's oversized. And this is a thick fabric, like a mosaic knit fabric, so there's not a ton of drape. There's very little drape, and it's not stretchy, so it does kind of pooch out a little bit in a way that I don't love. But I'm hoping once I block it, it'll change a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Or it's gonna have to be one of those things that I need to accept. And also a learning experience of, okay, if you're gonna make a mosaic knitted, like textured sweater, like you might want to make it not quite so oversized if it's raglan, because you're gonna get that pooching that you don't like. So I'm gonna put this away, and I gotta show you the bag that I got to put it in. So this I just got this week, and I think it's so cool. Look at this little bun on it. Oh, I love it. And it's my favorite, just this bright pink and this bright orange. This is actually a running shoe travel bag. Oh God, what am I trying to say? I'm a runner. I've been running since I was, my mom had me run my first 5K race with her when I was in first grade. And I kept getting super upset because all of the little kids my age kept sprinting past us, and she was like, Em, we're not chasing them. We're gonna just keep going at our, slow and steady pace. And sure enough, the kids, they sprint ahead, and then they pooped out, and we would pass them, and mom tells everybody this story. She's like, and she won. She's all so anyway, that being said, I started running when I was a little kid, and I ran in high school, and then I actually was on the cross country and track teams in undergraduate, in college. So I ran NCAA cross country and track. It was a good time. Now I'm very, very much retired, but I'm still part of a runners association here in Pensacola, and I go to a track practice every Monday night. And I have always run into this issue because I travel with my running shoes everywhere I go, and inevitably go running, and they get disgusting and stinky and wet, and then I have to take the shoes home, and I don't want to contaminate all of my other clothes, and God forbid any new yarn that I have picked up on my journeys with my stinky running shoes. So I came across, I was like, this is Instagram got me. They got me good. It's the brand, I have never bought anything from them, but the brand is called Rnnr, so Runner. And it's a cool brand. I like it. I wanted to order a hat, but I stopped myself. But they've got some really fun, it's for, I guess their whole shtick is for people who love to run but don't take themselves too seriously. They're just, in it for the fun. And now that I'm very much retired, I want to lean into that. I love running, and I still really like racing. And I'm just I don't think I'll ever be able to not be competitive or want to do well in a race, but I am trying to give myself more grace as I get older. I'm 33 now and I get a lot more sore and it's harder to recover, and yeah, so trying to give myself some grace on that journey. And I like, you know, their philosophy, that brand philosophy of, we love this sport and we, you know, we are serious about it, we love it, but we're not like gonna let it run our lives, which I think when I was in college, to a big extent I did. You know, it was my job. I was on a scholarship, so I had to you know, put in a lot of time and effort, and I would do it again if I could go back, but I think I would do a lot of things differently. And I think I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm going off on like a tangent about like sports psychology, but I think approaching it from a healthier mindset now, I think I would enjoy it a lot more. That being said, this bag right now currently is serving as my project bag because it fits a sweater like perfectly. How cute is it? And it's like waterproof too, so if you happen to have it in your bag and you spill something, your project is protected. It's also got a zipper pocket and it's got a little vent. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a little vent. And so it's to travel with your running shoes. So when you're running shoes, and I have small feet, so I could probably stuff some like used like exercise clothes in there with my running shoes to travel. Like, you know, just, it can be like the gross laundry bag. And it goes in with my stuff. I don't think that it'll let out too much stink from this like air hole to contaminate the whole bag. But this previously I was just putting my running shoes in a Walmart bag, which is totally appropriate and fine. And but why would I do that when I can spend money on something specific that has a cute bunny on it? No regrets. I love this bag. So that's my long tangent on my project bag. Let's move on. So that was the main knitting that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. I have really been trying to be more monogamous with that project because I do want it finished. It has been on the needles since July, no, maybe August, but it's February now. It's been a long time. It's ready. Like, it's time for it to be done. So I did need, though, because I was working on it quite a lot, I needed a palette cleanser to just help me have something finished, get that little dopamine rush of getting something off the needles. So I made 2 Paris and Berlin cowls, and that is a pattern by Locatelli. And I decided to make the pattern smaller. Okay, hold on. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, but I'm going to go get a prop to tell you why. So like, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Okay. So the Paris and Berlin cowl. I love this pattern by Locatelli because it's kind of a big shawl-like item. As you can see, sort of bandana shaped, and you don't have to wrap it around you, right? So styling it is easier. You don't have to worry about it. So it's so pretty, right? This is in a Youghiogheny Yarns in the colorway Peacock. I got this in a mystery, like I ordered like a little mystery knit along thing a couple of years through them. So this is the full-sized cowl. I made this a couple of years ago, and while I do like it, I do think it's a lot of fabric. And I don't always want a big shawl, especially, I'll say it again, here in Florida, it's hot. Like I don't always want a big thing all over me. So what I did, because kind of little bandana sort of things, I think I don't know if they still are, but they're having a moment, or they were having a moment. I decided to make it, oh, it unraveled a little bit. Hold on, I gotta do a little fixie fix. They're having a bit of a moment. So what I did was, okay, well also I did it because I didn't have a lot of this yarn left and I just used what I had. I made a smaller version. And I was in such a rush to wear it. I didn't even weave in my ends. There are like 2 ends and I just haven't, just whatever. I'll do it eventually. So I made a small version out of this really pretty Manos del Uruguay yarn that I had just in stash for years. And this is leftover from a sweater project that I made. So I wanted to do something with it. This is Fino, so it's merino, wool, and silk. It's really soft, beautiful yarn. And I made a smaller cowl, and I love the size of this. This is just so cute, like a little bandana. And I love, if you can see the pattern on it, and we'll get to this situation. So very pretty. I need to block it to see if I can get it to lay flat. That's I think I didn't do a stretchy bind off, and I'm wondering if that's why it's determined to curl in and make this little water spout situation. So it's a little annoying, and I do have to kind of zhuzh it around to get it to lay the way that I want to. So it's kind of defeating the purpose of, ooh, it's a cowl, so I don't have to style it. Like, I don't have to wrap it and like worry about the ends, because I do have to worry about it water spouting because it doesn't lay flat. Like, this is what I'm talking about, this little like water spout situation. It's me. So I have to tuck it under. I haven't blocked it. I'm hoping blocking will do some magic, because I made another one of these. I'm gonna take, it's so hot in here, you guys. It's like 70 degrees today. I'm about to lose this sweater, actually. I'm sweating, I'm so hot. So I made another one of those cowls, and I made it for my manager and very good friend named Susie, and she's the most knit-worthy person. I talked about this in a previous episode. It was like a whip that I guess it was one of my winter whips. I finished it, and I made it out of a yarn that my neighbor dyed, and her company that she started in the last couple years is called Willow Tree Yarns. She knits, or I'm sure she's a great knitter, but she dyes the yarn specifically for our local yarn store here in Pensacola. So anyway, I finished that. Susie loves it, and Susie blocked hers, and hers does lay flat now. And she was kind enough to actually send me a picture of her styling the cowl. We talked about like wearing versus styling. So she did an amazing job, took a beautiful photo of her. It looks stunning on her. It looks so gorgeous. She has beautiful dark brown curly hair. It looks so good on her. So I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I made it for her birthday and did finish it in time. So I'm very happy with that. I'll include a picture. I didn't hold on to it because I wanted to give it to her. But yeah, I'm happy with the way those turned out, and they were great palette cleansers. I really like that pattern. It's very easy to follow, like every one of Locatelli's patterns. It's flawlessly written and just beautifully designed, and I will definitely be making more of them. They make great little gifts, and I want to make more for myself. I want to make more out of summer, maybe like cottony linen fabrics, because I do like the look of like a bandana with a t-shirt and stuff. I think it's really cute. So okay, I'm gonna take a quick break, just like to do a costume change. I am gonna take the sweater off because I'm dying. I'm so hot. That is better. It was so hot. Okay, two more projects to talk to you about. This one is not knitting. This one is in my possum project bag that my friend Jordan made for me. She's an incredible sewist and also a knitter. So my friend Mary got me an embroidery kit for Moth. It is by, and I apologize that the packaging is messed up. I had this in my purse. I was bringing it to and from work with me, and I spilled coffee all over it. So the packaging is like all wet and like messed up. But this is, she got me Moth, and it is this. Look, just, oh my gosh. It's gonna be a little doll, and the company is called Kiriki Press. And it's a just cute, all over embroidered doll with my favorite colors, this rust and green. And then on the back of this, there's a coffee stain, but there's also all of the other animals. Look at those. Look at the bat. Look at the gator. Look at the blue jay. I want to make every single one of them. I love it. So I have made a lot of progress on this. It's on an itty bitty 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 little ring that I got to embroider a hat and I didn't use. So it's been sitting waiting to be used. I'm gonna take it off the ring though and show you guys my progress. Look at Moth. Look at Moth. Oh, so beautiful. There's like chain stitch. I had to teach myself around the eyes, which is really hard to show you guys because it's black, but I had to do one of these right here. I did all of it and I hated it and I ripped it out and I did it again and I'm happy I did. And then this is long and short stitch, which I taught myself all on the body and stuff. And look at the little antennas. Oh, it's so good. I'm stoked with how this is looking. I'm so excited. I was working on it this morning. I've been re-listening to all the Harry Potter books and just embroidering my little moth and living my best life. So I am so happy about this project. I cannot wait for it to be finished. I can't wait to move on to the wings to start using the beautiful green colors. The kit includes everything except for a hoop. So it includes all of the embroidery floss that you need, a needle, the screen printed pattern, and then a little bit of stuffing, as you can see right there, to put inside of it. And then really, really detailed and helpful instructions with like, with diagrams and everything. And my embroidery floss is an absolute disaster. And the reason for that is like I said, I spilled coffee on this and I like went to go get it out of my bag and I saw that I picked out my coffee travel cup and I realized that like it was empty and I was like, oh no. And I was like, hopefully it didn't spill on my embroidery project. That would be so sad. And it had completely coated. The entire was like sopping wet. The entire thing was stained with coffee. So I said a couple of like choice words and then I went ahead and I filled my sink up with hot water and then I put some OxyClean in it, like that like granule stuff, and I soaked it for a couple of hours and it came out. Like all of the coffee stain came out. Like the whites are definitely white again. Maybe I don't know, maybe they're a little bit coffee stained, but I can't really tell. Like I think it looks pretty white. And it did stain all of my embroidery floss too. So I had to soak the embroidery floss in there too. And I was so worried it was going to turn into a tangled mess, which it kind of did. And I learned that untangling embroidery floss is a lot easier when it's like floating in the water and weightless. You can kind of just like comb it out, because when you pick it up out of the water, it just turns into this like clump, wet, angry clump, and it's very difficult to untangle. So that was a lesson learned. A little bit of a headache, but worth it to rescue, because I was not, I wasn't gonna let this project die, you guys. I love Moth and I will finish her. It's probably why I'm not finished with my Barnsley sweater, honestly, because my friend Mary for Valentine's Day surprised me with Moth and I love her so much. So she will be finished. Hopefully by next time I podcast, I'll either have a lot more progress or she'll be finished. So, okay. So last thing is I made a painting. I haven't painted in quite some time, but I do like to make paintings, especially of animals, you know, just I don't know, I guess my preferred subject is animals, and I do like to do pet portraits. And a very good friend of mine, her pet passed away. It was very tragic. You know, it's always hard to lose your baby, and this particular girl was very, very close to all of us. She would come to the clinic pretty regularly, so all of us at the hospital know her and loved her very much, but no one loved her as much as her mama. And she just had to make I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry talking about it. So she had to make the difficult decision, but ultimately, you know, the kindest and best decision to let her go a couple of weeks ago. And after a couple of weeks of letting that, you know, grief process for all of us, I decided that it was time to paint her portrait. So I'll include a picture. I don't have it anymore. I've given it to her already as part of a Galentine's gift. Me and my friend do kind of we make a big deal of Galentine's Day for each other at work, and we bring each other like these just like curated gifts that are better than like any man could ever get us. You know, it's like, we always joke like my Galentine, it like knows me and gets me like better gifts than like any man could. And it's true. I mean, yeah. But so I had it ready for her for Galentine's, and I painted the puppy's name is Paris, and she was a beautiful, beautiful French bulldog, and I painted her in watercolors. And I'm pretty proud of it. I'm really happy with the way this one turned out. I worked on some different techniques for the background. I did some wet on wet techniques with like some beautiful pink that is my friend's kind of favorite color to associate with Paris. It looks so beautiful with Paris's biscuit colored coat. So I did that, and then kind of made them into just more little abstract flowers. I didn't want details of the background to take away from Paris, and worked a lot on some details with Paris, worked a lot on being patient this time with watercolor painting. Watercolor painting takes a lot of patience because you need to let layers dry. If you don't, it can start to get muddy. Your colors, you know, under your layers underneath might get picked, the pigment will get picked up by the new layer that you're putting down. So you can mix colors kind of inadvertently and create a muddied look. So I definitely am not the most patient person. Anybody that knows me will tell you that. So this was an exercise in patience for me. I started, you know, days and days in advance and really laid down thoughtfully, you know, colors and let things dry and waited between layers, and I think it was worth it. I do think that this turned out really beautiful, and I was so happy to give it to her, and it felt really good to paint again. I hadn't painted in quite some time, so I do love painting. It takes a lot of my mental energy though, and it's not something that I really do to relax, like knitting and embroidery and things like that. It's just, I think part of it too is that I feel a lot of pressure. Like I feel like it has to look a certain way. It has to look, I don't know, I just feel like it has to look good. Whereas with knitting, I want to just be a follower. I want to have a pattern, and I want you to tell me what to do and I'll do it. But I do not want to make executive decisions other than like picking out the color of the yarn and picking out the pattern and the size and everything. But when I make so many decisions during the day, and I'm a veterinarian, so I have to make a lot of decisions during the day. I love my job, but when I get home, there are certain days where I'm like, I cannot even decide what to eat for dinner. Like I want someone to take the wheel. So that's why knitting is super relaxing and just, I love it so much. But I love painting to gift give. I love, and that's especially why pet portraits, I think, are special to me. I love making something that will be super, super meaningful for the recipient. And it was good for me too. It allowed me to, it helped me kind of process the grief too, of losing Paris, because that affected me, you know, so much more than I thought it would. You know, she's not my dog, and you know, but it helped, you know, I think anytime something like that happens, we kind of reflect on our own lives and like things that are going on with us, and, you know, made me think about my older dog and some of her health issues, and how I'm gonna, you know, probably be in that position soon. So it was cathartic and healing for me to sit down and really honor her memory and celebrate her quirks and her beauty in this painting and just focus so much on her and be there for her mom too. And yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to me babble. That's really all I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming and sitting down here with me to talk about all of my projects that I'm working on and my progress and everything. I think for my next video, I'd like to talk about some of my spring knitting plans. I know I said earlier that I was going to talk about them, but I don't really have it organized in my brain, and I want to go through my Ravelry and like make an organized list and talk about my, you know, why I might want to make things. So yes, okay. I'm gonna knock my shelf over by being awkward. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope to see you next time. As always, please feed the YouTube algorithm and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye!